G'day everybody. It is currently 11 a.m. in the morning right now. And I just got up, so I apologize if I sound a little tired, but I'm going to go ahead and make this video anyway. So today I'm going to teach you guys how to rat with a VEXOR if you have an Omega account and make some pretty good ISK, actually some really good ISK, for very little effort. I mean, I do this AFK, so if you guys ever see me floating around in space, feel free to shoot at me. But yeah, so this is my AFK VEXOR fit. You'll be able to do any site except for patrols. I would really recommend that you don't touch patrols with this ship. The only reason being is that there's too many frigates that spawn erratically throughout the waves that can scram and web you. And if you're not paying attention, you will die in the easy patrols, and the hard patrols, the one that spawn with the AI chip at the very beginning, those ones will just kill you outright because it spawns like 8 of those scramming and webbing frigates at the very beginning of as soon as you start targeting the elite drone. So you really want to avoid those. But anything else you can run with these. You can run the hordes. You can... Okay, so, sorry, you can't run the ring hordes. Those are the hordes that have the ring of turrets whenever you go into them. Those ones will probably kill you. I've never really tried it because I've had bad luck with it before. So I wouldn't even bother trying it with this fit. Just go to the regular hordes, the one that has the 4 structures in a square formation around the center structure. That one has no turrets when you warp in. And the problem with turrets is they have really good tracking. So until you get your max velocity, you're going to be taking max damage from those turrets. And what I've experienced in the past is that even in an Ishtar, you have a hard time not dying before you get up to your max speed. So just a note, if you want to make the maximum amount of ISK, which in this system, which I have 144% modifier. Yeah, by the way, with this fit, you want to go to the biggest modifier system in the game, whichever one you can find, and are allowed to rat in. The reason for this is because the ship is so cheap. So I'll show you the fitting here. The ship is so cheap, sitting at 36 million. This is usually run by JITA prices, this estimated price here. So in JITA, you should be able to get it for 36 mil, or maybe even a little bit less. The prices fluctuate on all this stuff. So as you can see, there is no faction on here. It's all T1 except for the medium capacitor control circuit. My skills are pretty well maxed out, so you're probably going to need that. Then the Salvager Is are in the high slots for if you get a sentient spawn, you can go up to it and salvage it. Also, if somebody kills a carrier in system and they're not able to salvage it, you can go over there and salvage it. So having the 3 salvagers in the high slots is really helpful. You can also run with salvager drones. I don't have any in this fit, but you can put some in this fit and it'll just help you salvage that much faster. If you want to salvage the entire site after you're done ratting, you can go ahead and do that as well. So as far as drones go here, we're in the drone land, so the primary damage that they take is EM. So I've got Praetor IIs here. 2 Praetor IIs, 2 Infiltrator IIs, and 1 Acolyte. Sorry. Like I said, I just got up, so. Let's see here. So in the mid slots, we've got the 100M and Afterburner. You want to go with the Y type just because it's going to save you power grid and CPU usage, which is important. If you're having problems with cap, you might want to go with the mono, but if you go with the mono, you're going to sacrifice either something else here, either tank or whatever. But medium shield booster 2, that's all we really need to keep our tank up once we reach max speed. And then you've got the large compact DP. Now this is also to help save you CPU and power grid. And then you've got the multispectrum hardener, right? So this is going to give you that little bit of buffer that you need in order to your shields, because you're only sitting at 1,400 shields. It's not going to disappear before you have time to react, either by overheating this or whatever, if you need to, right? Sometimes those battleships, they get some lucky hits in, and you'll see your shields will dip around 20%. But it's very rare, and usually whenever it happens, I just let it play out. The chance of them actually being able to break through your armor is very slim, and it's almost impossible for them to break through your hull before you actually manage to take those out. And I just let the drones do whatever they want. I don't give commands. Like I said, this is an AFK ratting fit, so it's very good at what it does. Just let it play out, and I've never lost one. So let's go here. Drone damage amplifiers times 3. That will give you your damage buff. So you're seeing I'm at 436 DPS here, which is very good for a T1 cruiser. Then you've got your Omnidirectional tracking enhancer that will give your drones the ability to hit smaller targets than they're usually able to. Power diagnostic systems. Yeah, so that is just to top up your cap, give you a little bit more buffer on your shield, and also help top up your power grid, so you're not in the negatives. If you are having power grid issues, but your cap is completely stable because you put the mono in here, and you still need a little bit of power grid, switch that out for a reactor control unit instead. That will give you the power grid that you need, seeing as you don't need to be more cap stable. So go ahead and you will sacrifice a little bit of buffer, but that's fine. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and run a site, and I'll show you guys what you can get. By the way, this is my last haul from the last site that I ran. I got a sentient spawn, and as you can see here, you have a chance of possibly getting 131 mil for one drop of a sentient. And the sentient spawns, they usually drop one every 20, yeah, I'd say 20-ish sites. They're pretty rare. And you're not guaranteed to get this much. Usually you can throw this away and you'll only be getting whatever this is worth here. So the majority of the time you'll be getting around 14 mil. I've gotten drops that are around 30 mil without the module, and you can get any other sentient module except for the fighter support unit from these drops. Also, another thing you need to be aware of is that the carrier can spawn. And when the carrier spawns in the sites, so I'm just going to go ahead and get ready to go over to a site here. But when the carrier spawns in the site, it will kill you. Okay, if you're AFK, it's going to kill you. If you're paying attention, you have about 10 seconds to get off the field before it two-shots you. So chances are you're going to die if a carrier spawns. But that's fine. Like I said, the ship is only worth 36 mil. And with the amount of ticks you're going to be making, so if I show you my ticks here, it's the only thing I've been ratting with for the last little while. And I'll show you the ticks here. So the ESS payout is 45 mil, but you don't want to really be looking at that. You just want to look at these ticks here. So I'm getting around, so almost 15 mil here. 10 mil. I think I went and ran a squad, and that's why these ticks are a little lower. But when you're running the hordes, you're going to be around 15 mil. So 14 mil, 15 mil, 16 mil here. Another 15 mil, 16 mil, 15 mil. Right? Another ESS payout, 54 mil. So yeah, you're going to be racking up those ESSs pretty quick. And the neutrals are going to be coming around once you get up to around 60 mil. They try and steal those ESSs, and they'll probably kill you in the process. But as you can see, in 1 hour you pay your ship off, and then some. So in 1 hour, everything else you're making is just profit. So what I usually do is I pay attention for that first hour. Once the ship is paid off, I just go play another game, or I do something on my alt accounts while this ship is just ratting it up in sites, you know, completely of its own fruition. And I don't pay attention to it whatsoever. So if a carrier does come in, it will one-shot you and you'll die, but you'll be there in your pod. And all you have to do is just go up to the carrier at 0, call one of your guys that has a capital ship, or get into one of your capital alts, and just fly over and get yourself that 60 mil bounty, which will pay for the ship that you just lost. and you also get to keep the loot. So what's going to happen is if you call somebody else in to help you, the way we have it set up in our alliance is that, sorry. Okay, so the way we have it set up in our alliance is that you get to keep 50% of the bounty because you're going to be sitting there and in fleet while the other person kills it. So the bounty is going to be spread between the two pilots. So the person who comes in and kills it gets 30 mil, and you get 30 mil. If it's the sentient infested carrier, then it's 120 mil split two ways, so you each get 60 mil. And then the person that found it, so that would be you if you're ratting, also gets to keep the loot and the salvage. So that's the way we've done it for quite a long time, and it seems to be quite fair and works out pretty good. The person flying the capital ship only has to fly in and kill something in like 2 minutes and fly off. You're the one that actually had to rat all the sites to find it, so it's a pretty good split. Yeah, and you can get up to 2 billion-esque in drops from the carrier. If it drops that sentient, the sentient fighter support unit. Also, you can abyssal the sentient fighter support unit and possibly get something that's worth 10 billion. Alright guys, so I just finished clearing this site here. Sorry, I went AFK, so I'm just going to edit the video and cut out like the good parts. Yeah, so this whole site here I just cleared AFK, and yeah, as you can see it went pretty well. No carrier spawn, no neutrals came in obviously, and I didn't leech in the armor, so there you go. That should be proof enough that this works. Go ahead and give it a shot. And one thing I forgot to mention though is that when you do get to the site, you want to have your shield booster and your hardener turned on before you get to the site. That way it mitigates any damage that you do take. And then you want to immediately, before you turn on the afterburner, you want to start orbiting the center structure at 10k to 15 to 20k. Probably start off at 20k. Once you feel comfortable at 20k, then you can bring it down to 15 and then down to 10. The reason why you want to get as close to the center as possible is because it brings down your speed slightly. And when it brings down your speed, it allows the rats to target you. And when the rats are able to target you, they stop yellow boxing you. Because if they yellow box you, so that means if they have the yellow box around their icon, around their icon, rather than around than the red box. The red box means that they're actively shooting at you. The yellow box means that they're trying to target you. So if they're yellow boxing you, they're not going to be engaging you, and your drones are not automatically going to go after them. So you're going to have to actually not AFK, come back to your computer, target them, make sure those ones are dead, and then continue on with the site. The closer you get, the less chance of that happening. The worst ones for doing that will be frigates and cruisers. So the frigates and cruisers have a tendency of sometimes yellow boxing you. But if you get to around 10k and your tank is still holding up like mine, then you should be fine. And the majority, almost nothing will yellow box you. You might get like one yellow box per every 5 sites or something. Just from a fluke, like it spawned on the opposite side of the site and now it's taken too long to get to you and shit. So yeah, so I forgot to mention that. Another thing, actually, you know what, I think that covers everything. I think I explained all the modules, that's all good. Alright, without further ado, I made a montage of me running the site since I had to cut out of it. So I just took the best parts of the site and made a montage out of it. So I hope you like this cinematic montage and enjoy the music, and thank you very much. Bye bye.
Slay all my giants down. Gonna move like an earthquake. Can't stop till I hit the ground. Oh, I'm running full speed. crashing waves. 'Cause this is the moment. I'll rise up like the crashing waves. Oh, I will rise up. Straight hustle through the hard times, but like a river I'm gonna flow. Now I'm seeing all the right signs, pointing me right to my soul. And I'm flying so free. They're trying but they never catch me. These walls I'll tear down. I ride my destiny, and these dreams don't sleep, no. Oh, 'cause this is the moment. I will rise like a new sun, 'cause I knew there would come a day. Just like thunder when light breaks, I'll rise up like the crashing waves. I just keep on believing I can shake every mountain, 'cause I knew there would be a day. I'll rise up like the crashing waves. 'Cause this is the moment. Oh, this is the moment. Dreams don't sleep for the moment. Got the heat, ain't waiting for the daybreak. Gonna give what's mine. If this is my time, gonna light it up one day. 'Cause this is the moment. Dreams don't sleep for the moment. Got the heat, ain't waiting for the daybreak. 'Cause this is the moment. Get what's mine. 'Cause this is my time, gonna light it up one day. This is the moment. 'Cause this is the moment. 'Cause this is the moment. I'm gonna rise. 'Cause this is the moment. I'm gonna rise. 'Cause this is the moment.